As we head into the summer travel season, the world's most famous destinations have one thing abundantly in common: lots and lots and lots of tourists. So when is many too many? Seth Doan checks it out.
We're bombarded, lured, or both as hotels, airlines, social media influencers, cruise companies, and our own friends curate, post, and tempt.
Tourism can bring a lot to a community. Money, jobs.
Yeah, I mean, tourism is a huge economic force. Globally, tourism is 10% of the global economy. It's about 1 in 10 jobs around the world.
What's often cropped out are the crowds and lines, the frustrations that can come with vacationing today or living in a vacation destination.
Where we see neighborhoods starting to serve tourists more than residents, that's where we start to see problems, and that's where we start to see pushbacks, like we've seen some anti-tourism protests in places like Barcelona.
Paris-based writer Paige McClanahan has covered travel and tourism for decades.
The Louvre is a place on many tourists' checklists.
Absolutely.
The Louvre is the world's most visited museum. In June 2025, employees went on strike because of its inability to cope with the crowds.
I think it's obviously an iconic spot. It's also a spot that really epitomizes some of the pressures that we've been talking about.
In The New Tourist, McClanahan traces how guidebooks, low-cost airlines, and now social media are fueling a surge in travel. In 1950, there were 25 million tourist arrivals around the world. Today, there's more than 1.5 billion.
It feels like tourism is having a coming-of-age moment, where destinations are really waking up to the fact that tourism is something that needs regulation, it needs taxes, it needs urban planning laws, it needs physical infrastructure. At the same time, tourists, we travelers, are also waking up to the impact of our presence in places.
Has social media been good or bad for travel?
Yes.
Yes to both?
Yes to both.
Consider this. A canyon in Iceland had to be closed after a Justin Bieber music video attracted too many tourists. A farmer in Italy's Dolomites protested crowds by installing a turnstile to charge to get to Instagrammable spots like these. Then there's this fragile city. Each year, around 30 million visitors come here to Venice. That's about 600 times the local population. In 2024, the city implemented a fee for day trippers of 5 to 10 euros at peak times. It's one way to combat the crush of tourists. It's also tried banning massive cruise ships, but tourists still come. Portofino on Italy's other coast added new rules to manage the behavior of those already there.
It's so busy you have to limit the traffic.
It's busy every day.
Police Commander Chiarello Giuseppina got new duties this past summer when Portofino banned drinking alcohol or sitting on the ground in main streets and squares. Also off limits in peak times, being barefoot or shirtless. There's an up to €500 fine.
Do you ever hear complaints? People who say, why do I have to put on a shirt?
No, we have no complaints. In general, people understand. We explain that we are, yes, on the sea, but we are in a very famous center, and it's correct to respect and enjoy the town.
Across Europe, countries are trying to regulate tourism. Spain started removing tens of thousands of illegal Airbnbs and introduced taxes which decrease over time to encourage longer stays.
What should tourist destinations, municipalities do?
It's not the sexiest topic, really, but one really interesting tool is a tourism tax. And we're seeing that in Amsterdam, they've upped the tourist tax to 12.5%, which is currently the highest in Europe.
Amsterdam is known for its canals and more, its crowds. Home to fewer than 1 million residents, it saw a record 23 million tourists in 2024.
At a certain point, residents started to raise their voices.
Anushuka Trauschka used to manage what she called a typical tour company, but said she had an inner conflict.
You feel like, I'm an ambassador of this city, but on the other side, you were feeling that you were part of a problem.
She organizes community sessions to brainstorm solutions to overtourism.
grootste bewoner in de oude binnenstad.
And started Tours That Matter,
Yeah, it will leave, I think, in about a minute.
which tailors visits, often touring less trafficked spots.
It's upcoming district.
And it's not long to get here. It's
It's a
Just a
minute.
few
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, yeah.
Like taking the ferry to North Amsterdam.
So they used like old houseboats.
This former shipyard is on one of her tours.
Isn't this just a drop in the bucket? When you're talking about 20 million plus tourists, bringing a handful of people here doesn't really change anything.
That's what you would think. But with Tours That Matter, we've been very much part of a pioneer movement. And then we still have this large tourism that is just asking for transition.
Okay, this is my street.
Is your street here?
Yeah, my street.
Edwin Slovenik is pushing for that transition.
How long have you been here?
33 years.
He lives in the world-famous red light district, known for its windows and sex workers, but says his friends won't come visit anymore.
Because
Because they're too many tourists.
Lately, he's been able to find a little more peace at home. Guided tours are no longer allowed in the often noisy neighborhood, and bars must close earlier. He's also joined a community campaign called We Live Here.
The idea is to show the visitors to this area that there's not only party, but there's also a residential area.
there are different campaigns. The We Live Here campaign, we can see the sign right there. There
Yeah.
are different efforts underway.
Yeah, and I love that campaign, and I think those efforts are great, but it's just not enough.
Jasper van Dijk is an economist who's part of a group trying to sue the city of Amsterdam for not adhering to an agreed-upon cap of 20 million tourists.
One of the reasons we wanted to come here is because you see both the problem and you do see some solutions too. The city has taken measures to combat this.
Yeah, the city definitely took measures, and I think we're also one of the front runners in Europe, but we're saying it's quite too little too late, we can do way more.
He thinks even higher tourist taxes would cut down on the numbers.
We had plenty of questions for the city of Amsterdam, but could not get anyone to talk with us. The mayor, the deputy mayor involved in tourism, even the marketing agency working with the city, each declined our request to be interviewed.
The irony is that 10 years ago, the city had so much success with its marketing I Amsterdam that it later launched another campaign encouraging rowdy visitors to stay away.
In too many cases, you have to get to sort of a breaking point before the city wakes up and realizes they need to invest like this.
Paige McClanahan says solutions need to be catered to each community, but some of the responsibility lies on those of us traveling.
Whether tourism is going to be more of a force for good in the world or more of a destructive force, a challenging force, is really up to us to decide. You know, if we all come together and treat tourism with the respect and the scrutiny and the responsibility that it deserves, then we can use our power to turn tourism into a constructive force for humanity.